One of the most costly and time-consuming scammy sort of things that authors have to get involved with is like the conventions and conference circuit. It almost never is profitable for an author to actually go to. If you're an A-lister or whatever and you're getting flown around by your publisher to actually do this as events, it's a different thing. But for a person who's just trying to set up a table and sell things, even as a mid-lister who's doing pretty well, it often doesn't work out. And this crazy one happened over the weekend called Aces Wild Atlantic City. And all these authors signed up, and there were no readers there. And this happens more often than not. We're going to get into the drama that's surrounding this in just a moment, so please hit the like and subscribe button. Join us as we talk about all things in fiction, fantasy, and science fiction publishing, my friends. This is your Real Fantasy News. I am appreciating you being here. And without going to a convention, guys, this weekend, this is a pretty wild thing today. I have a #1 bestseller in sci-fi, and I have a #1 bestseller in steampunk. I've got both of these going right now, and I almost don't know which one to promote. And if you know one thing about marketing, you should only promote one thing at a time to people. Otherwise, they don't get in on things. But I'm going to go with For Steam and Country right now because this actually is about to hit in another category. It's number 7 in a larger category, and I want to get this up the chain. This is the last day for the sale. It is 99 cents. This is this airship adventure, excellent, fun, swashbuckling crew who goes out and fights against monsters and the like. If you like Dungeons & Dragons, if you like Final Fantasy, you are absolutely going to love this. It's available on ebook, print, and audio in the description. And thank you guys so much for making things a huge success this weekend. You guys made my month. It's been awesome, and I appreciate all of you readers for being here. But apparently you weren't at the convention here, Aces Wild. Now, there were a few conventions this weekend, and I've heard overall, they're really dying off in attendance. We talk about Worldcon a lot, the World Science Fiction Convention, just how they're bungling everything. And I'm going to guess they're going to have the lowest attendance in a long time at that one. But I also heard, LibertyCon in Tennessee was pretty muted this weekend. A lot less people than usual, which I like that convention. They're nice people who run that one. But it's all kind of the same thing. Everybody goes and yes, there's a couple reasons to go to conventions if you want to. One, you can hang out with people who you would like to see, etc., and that's a valid reason to do so. But if you're looking at it from a business reason from an author, which something like this, there's really nothing. This is a business reason to show up. This is something that never pans out no matter what it happens. And everybody always ends up getting screwed. So these conventions, what they often do is give you table fees and the like. And, sometimes you get a $50 table fee, a $100 table fee. We're going to learn about this one from the Aces Wild one. You have all these authors showing up who, of course, most of them you have no idea who they are, and they're not draws for anybody. And you could see pretty quickly how this all went out. We unfortunately have canceled the VIP party due to low attendance RSVPs. Oof. We feel the money would be better spent on the charity than a 100-plus party with only a few people attending. We apologize. We hope to see you at the next event. So they got rid of that. So if you were paying a VIP thing, which comes with a full anthology for all the authors that were at this thing as a published book, tickets, etc., crazy stuff here. So you've got this. You've got Friday, meet and greet, Dave and Buster's. And then, of course, author setup for Saturday, group photos, a signing all day long, lunch, which we'll get into that in a bit too. And then Goodbye Beachside Breakfast canceled due to Father's Day low attendance. So they canceled half of their convention events because of low attendance. And it gets pretty wild as you get through this. Now, all these authors we're signing up for this. This is one of them. Come see me at the Aces Wild event. I'll be signing books, meeting readers tomorrow all day. Here's the booth number, science fiction and fantasy author, etc. And there you go. Grab signed copies of my books, etc. This is my only author event in Atlantic City this year. Love to see you there. 3 likes on it, not very much engagement. So when you get into what happened here and where this all canceled for low attendance sort of thing, you can see they've just got 2 rows of tables in a spot here. And you're going to find out that it was not exactly what they sold the authors it was going to be. So here's what one author wrote. It says, "It's been over 48 hours since I requested a refund from the Aces Wild event. It has been met with silence. The host has not responded to my email or any of my fellow disgruntled author posts in a private Facebook group, only positive posts. I've contacted the venue to see if they are willing to shed light on what happened this weekend. As previously mentioned, there were several red flags waving before the event even started. An apparent change of ownership and management at the venue meant that our original location, no idea where this was, could not be honored, sussed. So we were given a floor plan for the atrium, aka the lobby, which was less than ideal, but at least there would be foot traffic from the anime con going on upstairs. So they had to hope that, like, they didn't even have a real convention hall here. They had just like a spot in the lobby, just cordoned off a little bit, where they were expecting like people from different conventions might stop by and might check out the books. Painful. When we arrived on Saturday, we were again told that the venue changed our location. We were now shoved in a corner of the lobby where there was no foot traffic, and we were told to pick where we wanted to be. This meant those who arrived early got prime locations. After a few minutes, the author next to me was asked to move, even though we were told to go anywhere we wanted. I don't know where they ended up, but it seemed like the organizers decided to try to implement the floor plan anyway, even though the layout was completely different. Many authors ended up dead in aisles barely 3 feet wide, me, and more were shoved into a back corner space no readers ventured into. So speaking of readers, the authors were blamed for lack of ticket sales. We were told that there were almost 200 sold, but I would be surprised if there were 50 that showed. Now, by the way, even if 200 people bought these tickets for real, I mean, look at how many authors we have. We have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15. We can just go times 2, 3, 4, 5. I'm going to, gosh, can I do math this quick? That's 75. And then there's a couple more down here, probably 80s. And then maybe 100 with your influencers and narrators. But these are people who are buying tables, like trying to sell. So you've got 100 right there. So if it sold 200 tickets, that means friends and family probably were the other 100. So you don't have anybody actually buying these books. And you bought a table to set up to sell. You spent your entire weekend trying to sell books to nobody. That's absolutely crazy that they were charging for this experience. It's wild. The first author to leave that I saw was 2 hours before the official event ended. Others followed suit, while many stuck it out to try to scrape up a sale or two. Many of us are awaiting refunds for the lunch we paid for, by the way. That was deemed, quote, too expensive. Yes, they were supposed to pay for a lunch, I guess. We were notified of this an hour into the event, and we were told we were not allowed to bring outside food. Painful. We were also told our lunch break would be extended, but the event did not close for lunch. I ended up buying 2 hot dogs, a bag of chips, 2 sodas from the venue for the much more palatable sum of $35. Ouch. I'm not sure if a hosting author lied or if she just didn't advocate for her fellow authors, but this event fell short in so many areas. Unfortunately, I wouldn't know the hosting officer if she passed me in the streets. I'm not sure she ever introduced herself. Currently, I'm out a table fee, bingo participation, $40 for the raffle items donated, hotel stays, tolls, parking, and a lunch we never got, and an overpriced hot dog. This was not my first book event. I have 13 more planned for this year alone. Well, maybe you shouldn't, my friend. But I've never requested a refund from an event before. It would be one thing if this wasn't my audience or if I was the only author who didn't sell much, but there are several authors, possibly the majority, who sold very little or even nothing. We were disrespected and lied to, plain and simple, and I won't be quiet about it. Wow. Absolutely crazy drama on this here. I've contacted the venue as well. Another author says I'm going to try calling today. If enough of us message, maybe they'll reply. I'm having trouble accepting the event booked and paid for a hall, but we got moved to the atrium at the last second. She says, exactly. I would guess the venue allowed them to transfer their deposit to the atrium if they couldn't afford the hall. Where's the money trail? Very interesting on this level right here. So everybody's asking if they get refunds or if anybody says anything here. Another tried to get a refund after the host canceled all the pre and after events. She declined, saying money was going to charity. She was sending us a gift. Ridiculous. We came up to anyone to help support the authors and bought a few books. I completely agree. We paid for VIP, got refunded nothing. Wow, absolutely crazy. So this is wild at this level. I've been mulling over how I'm going to respond to this, one said. Reading through the Facebook posts, as you said, were polite. Everything was handled. Then seeing a response that basically pointed the finger in the author's directions for not getting sales infuriated me. There were multiple authors who didn't sell a single book. Again, wow. Multiple people just talking about this. To double check my fees paid, making sure I didn't unknowingly pay for lunch. I did not, but I did see now, remember that I paid for an anthology fee. I ended up not being able to do the anthology, dropped out. Didn't expect that back. I also paid to be a sponsor. This is crazy. So anthology fee, apparently they were doing an anthology of authors to be in here, and these people were paying to be in the anthology. Just a 101, guys, for business. If you're an author here, they should be paying you to be in an anthology. If you're paying to be in an anthology, there's a scam going on. It should be very, very simple on this level. when you're looking at this. This is crazy. Never pay to be published. That is the biggest scam in the whole world right there. Another is going to email and ask for a refund, and this is crazy. So that's a bunch of authors. I mean, we saw that there's close to 100, but we saw about 5 on this thread already asking for refunds, saying this is completely ridiculous and going on. Is there more traffic on this topic on Threads? All this drama happens on Threads. Here we have one YouTuber talking about this is scammy book signing. One person just talking about going to it. But as you can see, there's no traffic of people actually who are non-authors talking about this, and it looks like Aces Wild is used for other topics like the WNBA and like. So yes, this is a big problem, and I honestly look, if this place actually had the hall rented out, I don't think it would have been any better, to be honest. And so this is what happens at almost every single con. When you're buying tables, when you're setting up, very, very difficult. If you're not like already somebody, like I said, at the top of the list, there's no reason to do so. The 20, 30 books you're going to sell, or the 50 books you're going to sell, are probably not going to pay for your table. It is going to take your entire weekend. And at that, like, here's the thing, like somebody who just buys a book real quick as they're going through a con probably bought 10, 20 books. They're not even going to remember you in a year's time if you can make this a habit going forward. All of these conferences are about the same. Most of them are just aspiring authors and other aspiring authors, and none of them actually want to read or buy books. And so you don't have a readership group going through there. If you have a readership group, they're on Amazon. They're reading on their Kindles. That's just kind of, or listening to audiobooks on their headphones. That's just kind of where things go. And so that's the market these days. Like these sort of cons are like a dinosaur of the past where people had to meet up to like actually see what was out there in the world. And, you know, since the internet's been invented, that just hasn't been necessary. So everybody always tells me, why don't you start your own convention? I have one. It's called this YouTube channel, my friends, and you guys are here. You're a much bigger audience than would ever sit in a convention hall, and I appreciate that. You guys are the best. Thank you for being a wonderful community that's winning, and we're avoiding this kind of scam by doing what's the new way forward, building a community that's awesome. So guys, hit the like and subscribe button. Join our Discord is another thing. It's in the description below. I appreciate everybody who's in there and hangs out. The readers are amazing. And guys, check out my books. Like I said, I'm going to only promote this one, even though I put it on the wrong screen. I'm bad at this. But yes, For Steam and Country is 99 cents today, so is Justified. And it is the last day of the sale. Boost this, guys. Let's make this one go crazy. We've already got #1 bestsellers in 2 books. How crazy is this? I'm over the moon today, and I appreciate you guys reading. You're going to love this. It's in the description below. It's a 6-book series if you want to check out the whole thing. We'll be back soon.